Welcome to the Unseen Author Journey. I am Luigi Pascal Rondanini, publisher, practitioner, and the author building a 10-book series from a desk in London without a production team, without a typesetter, and without a traditional publishing house behind me. Today I want to talk about something that nobody in the independent publishing world talks about honestly. The cost of finishing a book. Not writing it. Finishing it? Writing is the part I have always done. 38 years in foreign exchange markets, derivatives trading, and treasury advisory gives you material. The discipline of sitting down and converting that into structured, practitioner-grade technical content is hard, but it is the work I know. What I did not know when I started Rondanini Publishing Limited was what it would cost to make that work look like a professional book. Let me give you a number. When I priced professional typesetting for a technical finance book, before I published anything, the quotes I received ranged from £2,000 to £6,000 per title. For a book containing hundreds of mathematical equations, precisely formatted tables, embedded figures, and strict print conventions for professional distribution through IngramSpark, that number is not surprising. It reflects real skilled labor. But it also makes the economics of independent publishing extremely difficult unless your print run and margin justify the outlay. I am building 10 books, 5 in the Foreign Exchange Markets Professional Series, 5 in the Commodities and Energy Markets Professional Series, plus fiction, plus other titles under the Rondanini imprint. At professional typesetting rates, the production cost across those titles would be significant before a single copy was sold. So I did what engineers do. I identified the constraint, and I built a tool to remove it. Before I go any further, let me be direct about something, because in today's environment this matters. Every word in my books is written by me. The research, the analysis, the worked examples, the practitioner insight drawn from decades on trading desks and in treasury consulting. That is human work, my work. No AI generated the content of FX Cash Products, the first book in my series published in March 2026. And no AI is generating the content of Book 2, which I will come back to shortly. What AI does in my production process is what a professional typesetter does. It formats, it standardizes, it converts, and it checks. To understand why that matters, you need to understand the specific problem I was solving. Book 2 in the Foreign Exchange Markets Professional Series is titled FX Options, Volatility Trading, Pricing, Hedging, and Volatility Strategies. It is a sole-authored work, 30 chapters, approximately 180,000 words. It covers options, pricing theory, volatility surfaces, the Greeks, risk reversal and butterfly conventions, exotic barrier options, structured products, and institutional practice in volatility trading. The book contains hundreds of mathematical equations. The Garman-Kohlhagen pricing formula for FX options, delta, gamma, vega, vanna, volga, all defined in proper mathematical notation, piecewise payoff functions, integral expressions, volatility approximations, metric structures. In a working word manuscript, equations arrive in inconsistent states. Some were typed as plain text that resembles mathematics. Some use Unicode characters that look like Greek letters but are not proper mathematical objects. Some are fragments of LaTeX notation left over from drafting. Some are correct but inconsistently formatted relative to others. A professional typesetter would normalize all of these into native word equation objects. What Microsoft calls OMML, Office Math Markup Language, editable, embeddable in the final PDF, print safe for IngramSpark's production standards, visually consistent throughout the manuscript. That normalization process across a 180,000 word technical manuscript is where the cost lives. So I built Fable. Fable is a detailed technical instruction document, what practitioners in the AI world call a prompt, that I apply through Claude, used directly as an extension inside Microsoft Word. It instructs the model to convert and standardize every mathematical expression in the manuscript to native, editable word equations. But Fable is not simply a formatting instruction. It is a specification document, and the level of detail it contains reflects the level of care required to do this correctly. Let me walk you through what Fable covers. The first section establishes what I call the mathematical object requirement. Every equation must be created as a native editable word equation, not an image, not a screenshot, not a drawing object, not text that merely resembles mathematics. A native OML object that can be edited, scaled, and correctly exported to PDF. This single requirement eliminates a class of typesetting failures that are common when AI tools are used carelessly on mathematical content. The second section covers the preservation of financial meaning, and this is where domain knowledge becomes critical. In FX options, there are conventions that look superficially similar but are mathematically and commercially distinct. Spot delta and forward delta are different. Premium adjusted delta and unadjusted delta are different. Vega per unit volatility and Vega per volatility point are different. The roles of domestic and foreign currency in a pricing formula are not interchangeable. Fable specifies each of these distinctions explicitly. Where a convention is ambiguous, the instruction is to retain the formula and insert an editorial query, not to guess. The third section covers typographical conventions in detail. Scalar variables set in mathematical italic, named functions set upright, descriptive subscripts set upright, variable indices italic, proper partial derivative notation for the Greeks, scalable parentheses around tall fractions and matrices, stacked fractions in display equations, proper mathematical minus signs, not hyphens. Every one of these is a typographical failure mode I have seen in technically produced finance books. Fable prevents them. There are sections on when to place an equation in line versus on its own display line. On equation numbering, chapter-based, with the number flush right outside the equation object itself. On how to handle cross-references when numbering changes. On IngramSpark, print safety rules. No equations beyond the safety margins, no hairline borders, no rasterized equations, no crop marks. On numerical examples, showing the symbolic formula, then the substituted values, then the evaluated result, then the unit. And Fable ends with a quality control checklist. 12 categories. Every equation that was changed. Every symbol that remains undefined. Every formula too wide for the text block. Every Greek lacking a stated convention or unit. Every numerical result that does not verify against the inputs and formula, and explicit confirmation that no equation was inserted as an image. That is Fable. 92 numbered rules, applied to Book 2 of the Foreign Exchange Markets Professional Series, directly inside Word, using Claude as the extension. It took real effort to build this the first time, understanding the failure modes, specifying each rule precisely enough that the instruction is unambiguous, testing it against actual manuscript content, but I built it once, and it now applies across every book in both series. The per book cost of applying Fable is a fraction of professional typesetting. The quality of the output for a manuscript I can verify because I wrote every word of it is production standard. I want to be honest about the trade-off here. Fable is not a magic button. It requires a well-structured manuscript. It requires an author who understands the output well enough to verify it. For a practitioner in FX options, verifying that the Garman-Kohlhagen formula has been correctly formatted is second nature. For a writer without that background, some equations would require manual checking by a specialist. The tool is only as reliable as the person applying it. but the principle is transferable. If you are producing technically complex content in any field, engineering, statistics, physics, quantitative finance, the same approach applies. Identify the production constraint, specify the requirements precisely, build the instruction set, apply it systematically, verify the output with domain knowledge. I have made Fable available as a free download. The link is in the show notes. You will need to subscribe via Brevo to access it. The download is connected to my reader list and to the article version of this episode on Medium. Download it, read it. Adapt the sections relevant to your own manuscript and production environment. If you want to go deeper into the methodology behind Fable, the structured approach to directing AI in complex production tasks, that methodology is embedded in the Architect's Method GPT, which I developed as part of a broader framework for AI-assisted professional publishing. The link to that is also in the show notes. Book 2, FX Options, Volatility Trading, Pricing, Hedging, and Volatility Strategies, publishes in September 2026. It will be available at rondanini.com in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. It is institutional-grade content for options traders, risk managers, corporate treasurers, and finance professionals who need practitioner depth, not textbook theory. That is the unseen author journey, not shortcuts, not automation for its own sake. Engineered solutions to real production constraints, applied by someone who wrote every word and can verify every output. The show notes have the Fable download link, the Architect's Method GPT, and the book page at rondanini.com. If you found this useful, share it with another independent author who is wrestling with the same problem. They exist, and most of them are paying £2,000 to £6,000 per title.